Assalamualaikum and hi to Madam Nur Haryanti. Today we would like to present about the chart analysis of 5 companies with the indicators to determine whether the stock is buying signal or selling signal. There are a few indicators to determine the signal of stock, which is moving average convergence, divergence, the rate of change, relative strength index, and stochastic. Moreover, it is also to compare when is the best time to buy and sell the stock to gain more profit. The investors need to know the technique and strategies to make the right decision at the right time and price. Technical analysis is one of the techniques or strategy that can make the investor choose the best stocks among all. It is also important for the investor in the right stock to help them get more profit rather than loss. Based on the indicator on chart analysis, they can compare and make analysis in order to get the right decision. We have chosen 5 indicators to use in each stock that we have selected. From that, we can analyze which stock should buy, sell, and at what time should they invest the best stocks for their investment. We have chosen 5 companies, which are Petronas Gas Berhad, IHH Healthcare Berhad, Maybank Berhad, Syarikat Takaku Berhad, and Telkom Malaysia Berhad. Firstly, for the Petronas Gas Berhad, which is PET Gas Malaysian Gas Construction and Centralized Utilized Firm that was created in 1983 and is headquartered in Kuala Lumpur at the Petronas Twin Towers. PET Gas is principally engaged as the world's biggest gas pipeline construction corporation, such as specializing in the production and transportation of natural gas to Petronas clients in Malaysia and Singapore via the Peninsula Gas Utilization, which is PG piping system. On September 4, 1995, PET Gas was listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia. I have been using a few indicators that are suitable for identifying the trends of Petronas Gas Berhad for the period from 1st June 2022 until 15 July 2022. As you can see, the chart depicts Petronas Gas Berhad technical chart from 1st January 2022 to 15 July 2022. Moving average was the first indicators used to suggest a buy or sell recommendation. On July 6, 2022, the closing price is RM60.40, which is above the moving average line, indicating that the investor should buy the equities. When the closing price falls below the moving average line, it signals to investor to sell. The second indicator, rate of change (ROC), indicates that on July 1st, 2022, the rate of change line crossed over the zero line. As a result, the stock is overbought, signaling to investor to sell. When the rate of change line approaches zero, it also signals poor momentum. When the rate of change line falls below zero, investor should receive a buy signal. For example, on June 15, 2022, an investor should purchase Petronas Gas Berhad shares since it has become oversold. The next indicator is the relative strength index (RSI). The graph shows that on June 9, 2022, the relative strength index line below 30% crossed 70%, indicating that the stocks of Petronas Gas Berhad are oversold. The RSI line is then crossed 70% on July 7, 2022, indicating that the investor should sell the company since it is overbought. Thus, the investor should purchase the stock on June 9, 2022, since it shows a buy signal when the RSI line falls below 30%. Moving average convergent divergent is the fourth indicator MACD. When the blue line is below the red line after the junction, such as on June 10, 2022, the investor receives a sell signal. When the blue line is above the red line following the junction on June 27, 2022, the purchase signal is generated. As a result, when the blue line crosses the red line, the investor should buy Petronas Gas Berhad shares. The stochastic is the last indicator. The blue line crossed 80% on July 1st, 2022, indicating overbought conditions. When the market becomes overbought, investors should begin selling equities. On the other side, on July 13, 2022, the blue line fell below 20%, indicating that investors should buy stocks when the blue line falls below 20% in order to influence the market. As a result, investors are advised to hold to buy on that day, and they can sell the stock when the line is reaching in the future to gain more profit.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nopitra binti Radin. My student number is 2020601C94. Now I will talk about the analysis company of IHH Healthcare Berhad. IHH Healthcare Berhad is Asia's largest private healthcare group. It's a transaction organization with a concentration on upscale healthcare service. It provides a broad range of integrated healthcare service, including a wide range of acute medical service, hospital, and highly specialist care. It has a significant geographic presence in Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, India, and China, including Hong Kong, across Asia and Central and Eastern Europe. Its headquarters are in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Over 65,000 people work for the organization at 30 institutions spread across 10 nations. It is traded on the Singapore Exchange and Bursa Malaysia. Okay, next is analysis stock. I will use 5 indicators to analysis buy or sell for IHH Healthcare Berhad, which is moving average convergent divergence, rate of change, relative strength index, and stochastic. Okay, for moving average, the price line across the MA line on 12 July 2022 from below to above, which is the indicator for trader to buy a stock. The MA is depicted in the diagram. When the price line moved to below to above the moving average line, there was comparatively significant volume compared to yearly. Investor will not necessarily purchase or sell every time the price moves below or above its moving average. However, as it will result in a slight loss given that stock are accidentally moving sideways. Second is for moving average convergent divergence. The stock price is currently an uptrend from July 12, 2020. The MACD indicator show the downtrend is still strong as the best MACD line has not passed the MCD signal line, and the MCD histogram difference is quite large below the zero, as the stochastic indicator has not reached an oversold position. which is below 20%, even the stochastic indicator is below the 20% line, which is an oversold position, but not yet an entry point. MCD and stochastic indicator show that the time to buy the stock have not yet arrived. However, the ROC indicator show that the stock is gaining momentum and the ROC line have moved above the zero line. However, we must always remember to confirm with other indicator before making a choice. Therefore, we cannot enter this stock only based on the ROC indicator. For the relative strength index indicator concerned with the stochastic signal that this stock is oversold below the 30%. However, since neither of the indication have formed a point of entry, the stock is not yet ready to be purchased. And even the ROC state that this stock momentum is weak and that it is a decline because it is trading below zero line. When the stochastic and MCD cross pair, the plan is to buy the stock and then sell it for a profit at the 60 ringgit and 63 barrier level. But because the stock have been trading below the first support level, we will keep on a watch on whether or not the trend continue below the second support level at 6 ringgit 55 cent.
Padini Holding Berhad is a Malaysia-based investment holding company. The company sells men and women shoes, clothing, children clothing, maternity clothing, and accessories. We have multiple subsidiaries. Its most reputable brands are Padini and Wising. Its products are exported especially to the Southeast Asia country and Middle East. Its stores are spread throughout the country, which has store location in Pavilion Kuala Lumpur and Mid Valley Mega Mall. First indicator, moving average MA. On 50 July, at price RM 2.96 cents, it shows a selling signal. It also can be called a bearish scenario. This is because when the moving average and closing price is crossover or breakup and moving average is more than closing price, the investor can sell the stock during that time to gain profits. Second is moving average convergence divergence MACD. On 50 July, the MACD showed the sell signal for the stock. It is because the MACD crossed below the signal line as it shown in the chart above. The investor should sell the stock during this time. 10 rate of change ROC. When the ROC is above than 0%, it will indicate the selling signal overbought. And ROC is below than 0%, it will indicate the buying signal oversold. As negative 0.75% on 5th July on the chart above, it is show that ROC below than 0%, so it is mean the buying signal. It suggests that the investor can stand by to buy the share so it can gain profits. For relative strength index RSI, will identify and determine the stock whether it is overbought or oversold. To identify an overbought stock sell is when the RSI above than 70%, while for oversold buy is when the RSI below 30%. As 28.6% on 5th July on the chart above, it is show the RSI below than 30%, so it is mean the buying signal for investor. Last, stochastic. This indicator also important to determine the signal of selling or buying the stock. The buying signal happens when stochastic is above 80% or below 20%. When the stochastic above than 80%, it means sell signal overbought, and when stochastic 20%, it is mean buy signal oversold. Based on the chart above, it is below than 20% at on 5th July. So it is the buying signal to the investor when it is oversold. I recommend the investor purchase the stock since 3 indicators show buying stock and 2 indicators show selling stock. Based on New York Straits Times published on June 3rd, 2022, Maybank Investment Bank Berhad said that better sequential earnings are expected for Padini Holding Berhad, supported by falling customer trading. That's all for Padini Holding Berhad.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safa Amira binti Junadi. My meeting number is 0208277798. Stock 4, Takaful Berhad. The company was formed in 1981 when the Malaysian government formed the task force to investigate the possibility of establishing an Islamic insurance corporation. This result is integration of Takaful Malaysia on November 1984, followed by the start of operations on July 1985. After gently more than 1 century of operational process, the organization was incorporated as a public limited organization on October 1995. Accompanied by its listing on Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad main board, now known as the main market, on 30 July 1996. For the indicators, simple moving average SMA, hold to sell, it is illustrated that the selling signal was generated in the start when the price fall below and the moving average line and moving downward. Moving the average convergence divergence MACD hold to sell. The investor should wait until the MACD line reach the oversold line. As we can see, the MACD line create a buying signal at the start of 30 May 2022. Once the movement at the MAC line is crossed below the signal line, and whenever a sell signal appear, it has we seen that it move upward and touch the oversold line. It is bearish signal. Once it reach the oversold line, is indicate that it has a good signal. And at the middle of 13 June 2022, the sell signal was created when the momentum line moved in the downward trend and it crossed over the overbought line, thus they create a bullish signal. Rate of charge ROC, hold to sell. The investor should wait until the stock reach oversold line to get price. The chart of ROC by Takaful Malaysia, perhaps it shows that on 30 May 2022, the line crossed over the oversold line at negative 0.09%, signaling a buying opportunity. In one investment style, the circle, the rate of change line across negative 0.0089% above the overbought line to create a selling signal. For the RSI, it's hold to sell. The investment should wait until the stock reach at the higher price. The price movement is shown. It is a breakout at the middle of 9 June 2022, and the RSI line across over the overbought line at 69.4%, which is insignificant, indicating a sell signal. In a graph, the trend does not move and hold the signal indicated at the end of June 2022. Finally, the stock has ticked its hold to buy. The investor should wait until the line reach 20% to gain more profits. Finally, the level of oversold and overbought under the stochastic indicator are 20% and 80% respectively. On 30 May 2022, there was a buying signal in oversold and which is below 20% in just one day. The K line rose sharply above the D line, which is that the time was 29.8% to 80.4% approaching the overbought line. This show at the time it visible to buy stock as the best to.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Shafi after Islam with myself, and my market number is 2020898606. I will tell you the analysis of Telecom Malaysia Berhad for TM4863. Telecom Malaysia Berhad's mission is to digitalize Malaysia by offering a comprehensive range of communication services and fixed mobility solutions. TM is also focused on providing a better experience for consumers by consistently enhancing customer service quality while also aiming to boost operational efficiency and productivity. TM also serves a more digital lifestyle and culture, digital corporations, and a digital government in order to produce life and business easier for a better nation. Shall we start for the Telecom Malaysia Berhad analysis? A 20-day moving average is being shown against Telecom Malaysia Berhad's daily closing price. The first indication for Telecom Malaysia is the moving average on July 15, 2022, which is the last day of trading. This indicator assumes a closing price of 534 cents and a volume of 2.898 million units since the closing price did not touch the moving average line. The investor is recommended to hold up and stop on the day for a while. This is because the closing price line is moving up and did not touch the moving average line. The second indicator is moving average convergence divergence MACD. On the chart, the MACD line at 2.049 and the signal line at 0.045, when the blue line is below the red line after the junction, such as on June 7, 2022, the investor receives a sell signal when the blue line is above the red line. Following the junction on June 23, 2022, the purchase signal is generated. As a result, when the blue line crosses the red line, the investor should buy the combination overhead shares. The next related is rate of change ROC indicates that on June 7, 2022, the rate of change line crossed over the zero line. As a result, the stock is out of out, signaling the investor to sell. When the rate of change line approaches zero, it is also signals slow momentum. When the rate of change line falls below zero, investors receive a buy signal. For example, on June 15, 2022, an investor should purchase a combination overhead shares since it has become oversold. The fourth indicator is the Relative Strength Index, RSI. The graph shows that on June 21st, 2022, the Relative Strength Index line below 30% crossed 70%, indicating that the stocks of telecom and sugar high are oversold. The RSI line then crossed 17% on July 5th, 2022, indicating that investors should sell the company since it is overbought. Thus, the investor should purchase the stock on June 21st, 2022, saying it shows a buy signal when the RSI line falls. The stochastic is the last indicator, so the blue line crossed 80% on June 2nd, 2022, indicating overbought conditions. When the market becomes overbought, investors should begin selling equities. On the other side, on June 22nd, 2022, the blue line fell below 20%, indicating that investors should buy stocks when the blue line falls below 20% in order to influence the market. As a result, investors are advised to hold to buy on the day and they can sell the stock when the line is reaching in the future to gain more profit.